The number you have dialed has been changed.